People are acting like I committed some huge crime, like I actually went out and cheated on my husband, like I did something terrible and unforgivable, instead of just saying something out loud that literally everyone thinks, but most people are too afraid to admit. The overreaction is absolutely insane. It was a hypothetical, a fantasy, something that exists purely in my imagination and has zero chance of ever becoming reality. Everyone has those. Everyone thinks about celebrities or musicians or people they find attractive. That's completely normal human behavior. Pretending you don't is just lying to yourself and everyone else. He's a band leader, a touring musician, someone I will never meet in any meaningful way, someone who doesn't know I exist and never will. That's not even realistic cheating. That's not planning or scheming or actually doing anything wrong. It's just acknowledging that attractive, talented people exist in the world, and sometimes you think about them. So what? I didn't say I actually did anything. I didn't say I was making plans. I didn't say I had his contact information, or that we'd met, or that anything real had happened. I said a hypothetical thing about a hypothetical situation that would never happen. And somehow, that's enough to destroy my entire life. Explain how that makes sense. And honestly, after years together, after doing everything right, after being loyal and faithful and committed, I deserve a little excitement. I deserve to fantasize. I deserve to think about what-ifs without being judged or punished for it. That's not too much to ask. That's basic human freedom. If men can joke about models and actresses, if they can have Sports Illustrated calendars and comment on celebrities and say who they find attractive, why can't I joke about a musician? Why is it suddenly a relationship-ending offense when I do the exact same thing men do all the time? The double standard is ridiculous. I insist I was just being honest. Not cruel, not hurtful, just honest about what I think and feel. And apparently, honesty is a crime now. Apparently, you're supposed to lie to your partner about finding anyone else attractive ever. Apparently, that's what keeps relationships alive. Constant dishonesty. That can't be right. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And hit hype to boost this episode. Drop a comment below with your city or country. I'm always curious where viewers are joining from. She scoffs and rolls her eyes, genuinely believing every word she's saying, convinced she's the reasonable one and everyone else is overreacting. It happens late at night on a Saturday. We've had a few drinks, nothing crazy, just a couple glasses of wine while watching TV. Relaxed, comfortable. The kind of evening we've had hundreds of times before. Nothing special, nothing that would indicate everything was about to implode. Music is playing in the background. I've got my phone out scrolling through concert videos from the show I went to last month. My favorite band. Amazing performance. I'm reliving it, showing him clips even though he's only half paying attention. He's seen these videos before. Multiple times. I've been kind of obsessed since the concert. I laugh at something on screen. The band leader doing this thing with the microphone, this move that's so smooth and confident it's almost hypnotic. And I say it. Casually. Like it's nothing. Like it's just a funny observation we can both laugh about. If I ever had the chance with him, I'd totally cheat. Like, zero hesitation. I deserve that. My husband looks up slowly from his phone. His expression is blank. Not angry yet, just processing, like he's not sure he heard me correctly. I keep going, emboldened by the wine and the confidence that I'm just being real and fun. Come on, he's talented, confident, charismatic, creative, successful. It's not like I'd pass that up if the opportunity ever presented itself. Which it won't, obviously, but hypothetically. I'm expecting him to laugh, to make a joke back about some actress he finds attractive, to maybe get a little jealous in that playful way that makes you feel desired. Something normal. Something that acknowledges what I said without making it a huge deal. Instead, he says very calmly, in this flat voice I've never heard from him before. Then I guess I deserve to find someone who's not that ugly. Silence. Complete, total silence. The music is still playing, but I can't hear it anymore. All I can hear is those words echoing in my head. Not that ugly. Not that ugly. Not that ugly. My smile dies instantly, literally feels like it falls off my face. My stomach drops, my chest tightens. I can't breathe right. What did you just say? He meets my eyes for the first time that night, really looks at me, and his expression is so cold, so empty, so completely done that it scares me. You talked about cheating, like it's a reward you deserve, like I'm so inadequate that you deserve to trade up for someone better. So I'm talking about leaving, like it's a reward I deserve, like you're so ugly that I deserve to trade up for someone better. I need to make this clear, because everyone is getting the wrong idea. I didn't mean it the way it sounded, obviously. I was just talking, just making conversation, just being honest about finding someone attractive. That's not the same as actually planning to cheat or wanting to destroy our relationship. It was just talk. Words. Sounds that came out of my mouth during a casual conversation that wasn't supposed to mean anything. People say stuff all the time that they don't literally mean. That's how human communication works. You can't take every single word at face value like some kind of robot. Everyone fantasizes. Everyone has celebrities or musicians or people they find attractive and think about sometimes. That's completely normal. That's healthy even. It means you're still capable of attraction and desire. It means you're still alive and human and engaged with the world. Pretending otherwise is just performance. He shouldn't take it personally. That's the key point everyone seems to be missing. It wasn't about him. It was about the band leader. Two completely separate things. Me finding someone else attractive doesn't mean I find him unattractive. That's not how attraction works. It's not a zero-sum game where being attracted to one person means you can't be attracted to anyone else. I wasn't saying he's ugly. I genuinely wasn't. I was saying the band leader is hot. Those are different statements with different meanings. One is complimenting someone else. The other would be insulting my husband. I did the first one, not the second one. But he twisted my words into something they weren't. I genuinely don't understand why my words hurt him so badly. They were about someone else, about a fantasy that will never happen, about acknowledging basic objective reality, that this musician is talented and attractive. How is that an attack on my husband? How does that insult him or devalue him or make him feel bad? It doesn't. He chose to interpret it that way. Okay, for context, I have been kind of obsessed with this band lately. I'll admit that. Went to their concert last month, and it was genuinely one of the best nights of my life. The energy, the performance, the music, everything was perfect. I've been watching videos and listening to their albums non-stop since then. It's been my main topic of conversation for weeks. And yes, I've compared my husband to musicians and celebrities sometimes. Not in a mean way, just in a observational way. Like pointing out that the band leader has this confidence my husband doesn't have, or that he's more ambitious, or more creative, or more successful. Just facts, just observations, not judgments, not criticisms. I've joked about upgrading before too, but as a joke, obviously as a joke, like, if I could trade you in for someone famous, here's who I'd pick. Playful teasing, the kind of thing couples do, the kind of thing that's supposed to be light and fun, not serious and relationship ending. He used to laugh at those jokes, or at least he didn't say they bothered him. I flirt in comments online sometimes, on the band's social media, on the band leader's posts. Nothing serious, just heart emojis and comments like "marry me," or "you're perfect," or "I'd do anything for you." But that's what everyone does. Scroll through any celebrity's comments, and you'll see thousands of people saying the same things. It's harmless. It's just how people express appreciation for artists they admire. I call it harmless because it is harmless. None of those comments mean anything. The band leader isn't reading them. He's not going to show up at my door. He's not going to reciprocate my flirty comments. It's just shouting into the void in a fun way. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been. What I leave out, what I don't think about until much later, is that my husband stopped complimenting me months ago. Used to tell me I looked beautiful. Used to notice when I dressed up. Used to make comments about finding me attractive. That all gradually stopped. I didn't really notice at the time. Thought maybe we were just getting comfortable. Thought it was normal long-term relationship stuff. He stopped touching me too. Used to hold my hand. Used to pull me close on the couch. Used to initiate physical contact constantly. But over the past few months, all of that faded. We still had sex occasionally, but even that was different. Mechanical. Distant. Like going through motions rather than connecting. I noticed, but I didn't think it meant anything serious. He started pulling away quietly, spending more time on his phone, going to bed before me, making excuses not to hang out with our friends, becoming less engaged in conversations. I thought maybe he was stressed about work or tired or just in a funk. I didn't think it was about us. Didn't think it was about me. I thought I still had control. Thought the relationship was fine. Thought we were solid. Thought my comments and jokes and obsession with the band were harmless quirks he accepted about me. I was wrong. I was very, very wrong. After he says that thing about me being ugly, about deserving someone who's not that ugly, I just sit there stunned, waiting for him to take it back, waiting for him to apologize and say he didn't mean it, and he was just hurt and lashing out. Waiting for the moment to pass so we can move on from this. But he doesn't take it back. He doesn't apologize. He just stands up calmly and walks to our bedroom closet, opens it, starts looking through things methodically. I follow him, laughing nervously because this is getting weird and I don't know what else to do. "Oh my God, you're so dramatic. It was a joke. I didn't mean anything by it. You know that." He doesn't respond, just pulls out a suitcase, sets it on the bed, opens it, starts packing. Not his things, my things. He's packing my clothes, my toiletries, my personal items, neatly, carefully, organized like he's thought about exactly what I'll need. I stop laughing. "What are you doing?" He doesn't look at me, just keeps packing, folding shirts, rolling pants, placing shoes carefully in the side compartments, moving efficiently like he's done this before, like he's planned this. I panic, really panic. This isn't a fight anymore. This is something else, something worse. "What are you doing?" He finally looks up. His expression is still that same terrifying calm. "Helping myself deserve better." "You can't, you're not, this is insane, over one comment." He zips the suitcase closed, lifts it off the bed, carries it to the front door, sets it down gently, then turns back to me. "You said you deserve to cheat with someone more talented and successful than me. I'm saying I deserve to be with someone more attractive than you. Fair trade." "That's not what I said." "Isn't it? You said you'd cheat, that you deserve it. That implies I'm not enough, that I'm inadequate, that you're settling. So I'm unsettling you. You're free to pursue that band leader now, and I'm free to find someone who doesn't think I'm a consolation prize." That was 6 weeks ago, 42 days of living in a nightmare that started with what I thought was a harmless comment and ended with me actually homeless and alone and completely destroyed. He actually kicked me out that night, didn't let me argue or negotiate or explain myself, just handed me the suitcase, opened the door, and waited for me to leave. When I refused, when I planted myself on the couch and said I wasn't going anywhere, he just looked at me with those dead eyes and said, "Then I'm calling the police for trespassing." "Trespassing? This is my house." "It's my house. My name on the lease. You're a guest who's overstayed her welcome, so you can leave voluntarily, or you can leave in handcuffs. Your choice. I didn't know that. Didn't realize his name was the only one on the lease. We'd been living there for 3 years. I thought we both had equal claim to it, thought it was our space together. Turns out I was wrong about that too, wrong about a lot of things. I grabbed my suitcase and left. Didn't have a choice, really. It was midnight on a Saturday. I was crying too hard to think straight. I drove to my friend Rachel's apartment and slept on her couch that first night, then figured out more permanent arrangements over the next few days. Except permanent arrangements don't really exist when nobody wants you. I've been staying with different friends on rotation since then. A week at Rachel's, 3 days with Monica, 5 days with Sarah. Nobody wants me permanently. Nobody's willing to let me actually move in or set up real roots. They all make polite excuses about space limitations or roommate situations or temporary circumstances only. Translation: you're too much drama and mess, and we don't want your problems contaminating our lives long term. You can crash for a few days while you figure things out, but then you need to move along. You're not our responsibility. We're helping out of obligation, not desire. He's texted me exactly twice since that night. The first time was 3 days later. Your stuff that didn't fit in the suitcase is in boxes by the door. Pick it up by Friday, or it goes to Goodwill. That was it. No, how are you doing? No, I'm still angry, but maybe we should talk. Just cold logistics, just instructions about property management. The second text came a week after that. Change the locks. Don't try to come in. Like I was a threat. Like I was dangerous. Like I might break in and cause problems. I wasn't planning to break in. I was planning to beg. But apparently he anticipated that and made sure I couldn't. I went back to get my things that Friday. He wasn't there. Made sure to be gone when I arrived so we wouldn't have to interact. Left the boxes outside on the porch so I wouldn't even need to knock. Everything packed neatly, labeled clearly, organized efficiently. Like removing me from his life was just another task to check off a to-do list. Looking through those boxes was devastating. My entire life reduced to containers that could fit in my car's back seat. Books I'd never finished. Clothes I'd meant to donate. Photos from happier times that felt like they were from someone else's life. All of it packed up and handed back to me like returned merchandise that didn't meet expectations. I tried to contact him, called multiple times from different numbers once he blocked mine. He blocked each one. Texted from friends' phones. He must have figured out what I was doing because he stopped responding to unknown numbers entirely. Sent emails to his personal and work addresses. They bounced back or went unanswered. He'd completely sealed himself off from any possibility of communication. Showed up at his workplace once in desperation. Security stopped me at the entrance. Apparently, he'd put me on some kind of list. "Ma'am, you need to leave the premises immediately or we'll call the police." They'd been warned about me, briefed on the crazy ex who might cause problems, instructed to remove me on sight. Our mutual friends have all chosen sides. His side, every single one of them. They've heard his version first, probably that I told him I'd cheat, he called my bluff, I got defensive and unreasonable. Clean narrative, simple story, easy to understand who the bad guy is. Nobody wants to hear my version. Nobody thinks I was just being honest about a fantasy is a valid defense. They all think I was cruel and thoughtless, and that I got what I deserved for saying something so hurtful to someone who loved me. Rachel said it directly. You told him you'd cheat with someone better and then got mad when he said he'd find someone prettier. How is that not hypocritical? You can dish it out, but you can't take it. Monica was even more brutal. If you didn't want him to call you ugly, maybe you shouldn't have told him you wanted to cheat. Actions have consequences. Or in your case, words have consequences. Even Sarah, who's usually the most understanding, said, I love you, but this one's on you. You basically told him he wasn't enough, and then got shocked when he agreed and decided to leave. What did you expect? My family is no better. Had to tell them I was going through a separation. They demanded details. I gave a sanitized version, said we had a disagreement that escalated. My sister pushed. What kind of disagreement ends a relationship that suddenly? I eventually had to tell her the truth. She looked at me like I was an idiot. You told your husband you'd cheat with a musician, and you're surprised he kicked you out. What were you thinking? How is that something you say out loud to someone you supposedly love? My parents are beyond disappointed. My mom actually cried when I told her. Not tears of sympathy for me, tears of sadness that I could be so thoughtless and cruel. How did I raise someone who would say something like that? Where did we go wrong? My dad just shook his head and walked away. Hasn't really engaged with me since. Lets mom handle the conversations and logistics of me being back home. Avoids me when possible. The disappointment radiates off him in waves. Because yes, I had to move back in with my parents. At 34 years old. After exhausting all my friends' couches and temporary hospitality. Back in my childhood bedroom with posters from high school still on the walls, and a twin bed I haven't slept in since college. Back to living under their roof and their rules and their constant judgment. It's humiliating, degrading. Every day is a reminder of how completely I've failed at adult life. Every interaction with my parents reinforces that I destroyed something good through my own stupidity. Every night in that twin bed reminds me of what I had and lost. Work has become unbearable. I can't focus, can't concentrate, can't complete even simple tasks without my mind wandering to what happened and how everything fell apart, and whether there's any possible way to fix it. The mistakes pile up, the missed deadlines accumulate. The quality of my work has nosedived spectacularly. My boss called me in for a performance review, which is corporate speak for, you're failing, and we're documenting it so we can fire you legally. I tried to explain I'm going through a difficult separation. He listened politely and then said, I understand that's challenging, but we need you performing at full capacity, regardless of personal circumstances. You have 30 days to improve, or we'll need to discuss other options. Translation: Your problems aren't our problem. Fix your life on your own time, or we'll find someone who can do the job without the drama and mistakes. 1 more month before I'm unemployed, on top of everything else. I got my first official write-up last week. Persistent failure to meet performance standards. Signed by my boss, witnessed by HR, placed in my permanent file. 1 more step closer to termination. 1 more thing I'll have to explain to future employers when they ask why I left my last job. My co-workers have noticed something's wrong. They ask careful questions with concerned expressions. Everything okay? You seem really stressed. Want to talk about it? I give vague non-answers about going through some personal stuff. Can't tell them the truth. Can't admit that I destroyed my relationship by telling my husband I deserved to cheat with a musician. They wouldn't understand. They'd judge me like everyone else has. I can't eat properly anymore. Food tastes like cardboard. Texture makes me nauseous. My stomach is constantly in knots from stress and anxiety and the physical manifestation of regret. I've lost probably 20 pounds in 6 weeks. Clothes that used to fit properly hang loose now. My face looks gaunt and hollow. My eyes have permanent dark circles that makeup can't fully hide. People comment on the weight loss constantly. You look so thin. Have you been sick? Are you eating enough? You should see a doctor. I make up excuses about trying a new diet or training for a marathon or just being really busy with work. Anything but admitting the truth is too pathetic and humiliating. I can't sleep either. 3, maybe 4 hours a night if I'm incredibly lucky. Usually less. I lie awake in that twin bed that's too small for an adult staring at the ceiling running through endless alternate scenarios. What if I hadn't said it? What if I'd phrased it differently? What if I'd immediately apologized? What if I'd never gone to that concert in the first place? What if I'd kept my obsession to myself? The panic attack started in week 3. real clinical ones where my chest gets tight and I can't breathe properly, and my heart races and my hands shake, and I genuinely think I'm dying. They come unpredictably with no warning. At work in the middle of a meeting, at my parents' dinner table, driving on the highway at 65 miles per hour, in bed at 3 a.m. when everyone else is asleep. No pattern, no trigger I can identify. Just sudden overwhelming terror. I'm seeing a therapist now. Twice a week at $150 per session I can barely afford. My mom insisted. Said I clearly need professional help processing what happened and dealing with the consequences. The therapist is kind, but relentlessly honest in ways that hurt. What did you think would happen when you said that to him? I don't know. Nothing? I thought he'd laugh or maybe get a little jealous in a playful way. Did you consider how he might feel hearing you say you deserved to cheat with someone else? How that might affect him? Not really at the time. I was just being honest about my feelings. Honesty without consideration for impact isn't honesty. It's cruelty, disguised as authenticity. It's using truth as a weapon while pretending you're just being real. That one hit hard. Stayed with me for days afterward. I've been using honesty as a shield, as justification for my behavior, as proof I did nothing wrong. But maybe honesty that hurts people without purpose or consideration is just selfishness dressed up in virtuous language. I went back and deleted everything related to the band. All my social media comments over the past year. All the flirty posts and heart emojis and marry me jokes and thirsty comments that seemed so harmless and fun at the time. Unfollowed the band completely. Unfollowed the band leader's personal account. Deleted every single concert video from my phone. Removed every photo I'd saved. Unsubscribed from their newsletter and updates. Erased every trace of the obsession that destroyed my entire life. Can't even listen to their music anymore. Tried once about 2 weeks ago. Put on their most popular album, thinking maybe enough time had passed that I could enjoy it again. Made it halfway through the second song before having a full panic attack. Had to pull over on the side of the road and sit there for 20 minutes waiting for my breathing to return to normal and my hands to stop shaking. The thing I loved so much I couldn't stop talking about it has been completely ruined. Poisoned by association with the worst moment of my life. I can't enjoy it anymore. Can't even hear a few notes of their songs without my stomach dropping and my chest tightening and my mind immediately replaying that moment when I said those words and destroyed everything good I had. I tried one more time, 3 weeks after he kicked me out. Couldn't let it go. Couldn't accept that it was really over. Couldn't live with not trying one final time to explain myself and fix things and make him understand that I didn't mean it the way it sounded. I showed up at his work parking lot just before 5. Waited by his car for 40 minutes while other employees left and stared at me standing there like a stalker. Pathetic and desperate, but I didn't care anymore. Had nothing left to lose, no dignity remaining, no pride intact. Just needed to talk to him one more time. Needed him to listen. Needed a chance to make this right. He came out at 5:15, saw me standing there next to his car. His face didn't change at all. No surprise, no anger, no anything. Just that same flat indifference that's somehow infinitely worse than hatred would be. Like I wasn't even worth an emotional response anymore. Please, I said before he could walk away or call security. Can we just talk? 5 minutes? That's all I'm asking. Just give me 5 minutes to explain what I meant. No. One word. Flat. Final. No room for negotiation or discussion. I didn't mean it the way it sounded. I swear to you, I was drunk. I was being stupid and thoughtless and careless. I didn't actually want to cheat with anyone. I was just talking without thinking. Just saying something dumb that popped into my head. Please believe me, please. He unlocked his car, opened the door, started to get in. I grabbed his arm without thinking. He stopped and looked at my hand on his arm, like it was something disgusting he needed to remove. You said you deserved it, he said quietly, not looking at my face. That's the part you keep conveniently skipping over in all your explanations. Not that you wanted to, not that you thought about it sometimes, not that you found him attractive. You said you deserved to cheat, like it was something owed to you, like I was so inadequate that you deserved compensation in the form of betrayal. That's not what I meant. You're twisting my words. Am I? Then what did you mean? Explain it to me. Help me understand how telling your partner you deserve to cheat with someone more talented and successful is anything other than insulting and cruel and a fundamental rejection of them as a person. I tried. God, I tried to explain. Talked about fantasies and hypotheticals, and how everyone thinks about celebrities, and how it doesn't mean anything real. Talked about how words don't always mean exactly what they literally say. Talked about context and intent, and how he was taking one comment way too seriously. But even as the words came out of my mouth, I could hear how hollow they sounded. How much they sounded like excuses rather than genuine explanations. He just listened with that blank expression that's become his default when dealing with me. Let me finish my entire rambling speech. Then he said the words that destroyed any remaining hope I'd been clinging to. That band leader doesn't even know you exist. He's never seen you, never thought about you, never will. You're just another face in a crowd of thousands of fans who all think they have some special connection with him. But you managed to ruin the one man who actually did know you, who actually did see you every day, who actually did choose you and commit to you despite all your flaws. Congratulations on that particular achievement. I was crying then, really crying, mascara running down my face, nose running, voice breaking, completely falling apart in a parking lot full of his co-workers who were definitely watching this scene unfold. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, please. I'll never say anything like that again. I'll do whatever you want. I'll change. I'll be better. I'll delete everything related to that band. I'll never mention celebrities again. Just please give me one more chance. He got in his car, shut the door firmly, locked it with a definitive click, started the engine. I knocked on the window desperately, begging, pleading, making a complete spectacle of myself in front of dozens of people who definitely now thought I was unhinged. He backed out slowly, carefully, forcing me to move out of the way or get hit. Then he just drove away and left me standing there sobbing in a parking lot while security approached to ask what the problem was and whether they needed to call someone or escort me off the property. I left before they could officially remove me. Drove back to my parents' house with tears streaming down my face the whole way. Nearly got in 2 accidents because I couldn't see properly through the crying. Made it to my childhood bedroom and cried for 4 straight hours until I literally had no tears left and my body just shut down from exhaustion. That was the last time I saw him. The last time I tried to make contact. The last time I let myself hope that maybe somehow there was still a chance to fix this. He made it absolutely clear there wasn't. That door is closed, locked, sealed, never opening again. So that's where I am now. 6 weeks after a comment I genuinely thought was harmless. Living in my childhood bedroom at my parents' house. 34 years old, sleeping in a twin bed meant for a teenager. Alone. Blocked from all contact. Abandoned by friends who think I'm hypocritical. About to lose my job. Watching my entire life disintegrate piece by piece because of one sentence I said while drunk on wine and high on concert excitement. And part of me, the stubborn defensive part that refuses to accept full responsibility even now, still wants to say this isn't fair, that I didn't cheat, that I didn't actually do anything wrong, that I just said something out loud that I was thinking, that fantasy isn't the same as reality, that he shouldn't have taken it so seriously, that the punishment is wildly disproportionate to what I actually did. But I'm sitting here in my childhood bedroom at 34 years old, and I can't keep pretending everyone else is wrong, and I'm the only reasonable person left in the world. I can't keep blaming him for being too sensitive or too dramatic or too unforgiving. I can't keep justifying what I said as harmless honesty when clearly it was anything but harmless to the person who mattered most. I said I deserved to cheat, not I find him attractive, not he's talented, not I admire his work and appreciate his artistry. I said I deserved to cheat, like it was something owed to me, like my husband wasn't providing something essential that I had a right to seek elsewhere, like I was settling for less than I deserved, and if something better came along, even hypothetically, even impossibly, I'd take it without hesitation. And he heard exactly what I said, heard that he was inadequate, heard that he was replaceable, heard that I was only with him because I couldn't get someone better, heard that I was mentally already halfway out the door, just waiting for the right opportunity to justify leaving or betraying him. So he said something equally cruel back. Called me ugly, said he deserved better, said he deserved to find someone not that ugly, used my exact logic against me, showed me what it felt like to be told you're not enough, and I immediately lost it, got offended, got hurt, got defensive, accused him of being mean and dramatic and taking things too far, but he was just holding up a mirror, showing me what I'd said from his perspective, making me feel for 5 seconds what he'd been feeling for months, while I constantly compared him to celebrities and musicians and people I found more impressive. And I couldn't handle it, not even for a moment. While he'd been handling my comments and comparisons and obsession for months without saying a word about how much it hurt. The band leader is a fantasy, a musician I saw once from hundreds of feet away in a stadium seat surrounded by thousands of other fans. Someone who performed songs I liked and then left and went on to the next city and will never think about me ever. Someone who exists only in my imagination and my deleted social media comments that he never read and never will read. My husband was real, was there every day, was present and engaged and committed, knew me completely, chose me despite knowing all my flaws, loved me in the mundane, everyday way that actually matters, and I told him, confidently and casually, that I'd throw all of that away for a fantasy if given the chance, that I deserved that fantasy more than I valued our reality, and now the fantasy is still impossible, and the real thing is gone forever. I can't have the band leader, because that was never going to happen. It was always pure delusion. And I can't have my husband back, because I destroyed whatever we had with one thoughtless comment that revealed exactly what I thought about our relationship and his worth to me. I whisper to myself sometimes, late at night when I can't sleep in that too small bed. It was just a joke. He shouldn't have taken it seriously. Everyone says stuff like that. It didn't mean anything. But I know better now. Know it in my bones. In the parts of myself I've been forced to examine during sleepless nights and expensive therapy sessions. It wasn't just a joke. It was the truth disguised as a joke. The kind of thing you say when you think there won't be consequences because your partner is too loyal or too committed or too afraid of being alone to actually do anything about it. He did something about it. He took me at my word, believed me when I said I deserved to cheat, and decided he deserved better than someone who thought that way. Someone who would disrespect him so casually. Someone who would announce they'd betray him for a fantasy and then expect him to smile and accept it like it was nothing. I didn't cheat. I didn't physically do anything wrong. I didn't have an affair or kiss someone else or plan anything. But I said I would given the chance. I said I deserved to. And apparently in relationships, saying you'd betray someone is just as destructive as actually doing it, because it shows what you really think, what you really value, how little their feelings and their worth matter to you compared to your fantasies and your sense of entitlement. He called me ugly and I fell apart instantly. One comment, one comparison, one statement that I wasn't as attractive as someone he could hypothetically find, and I was completely devastated. couldn't handle it for even a moment, needed him to take it back immediately, needed reassurance that I was beautiful and desirable. He endured months of me comparing him to celebrities and musicians, months of me telling him about my crushes and fantasies, months of me joking about upgrading and finding someone better, months of me making it clear that he wasn't my first choice, just my available choice. And he smiled through it all, or stayed quiet until that final night when I said something so blatantly disrespectful that he couldn't stay quiet anymore. And now I'm here, alone in my childhood bedroom. The band leader doesn't know I exist and never will. My husband knows I exist but doesn't care anymore. And for the first time in my life, my words didn't just hurt someone. They cost me absolutely everything that actually mattered.